On the 23rd of February 2024, a movie was released in India, and after 21 days of its release, it became the fourth Hollywood movie to cross 100 crore rupees in worldwide box office revenue. This movie is already gaining popularity among fans in India and internationally, and it's also receiving positive reviews. However, what most people aren't aware of is that more than half of the incidents depicted in this movie are portrayed inaccurately, and evidence of this can be found on numerous Indian websites. This movie is Article 370, and it delves into a highly controversial issue: Jammu and Kashmir. To uncover the truth behind this reality, we must travel back 77 years to the time of partition. The division of the Indian subcontinent in 1947 into two separate nations, India and Pakistan, marked a significant moment in history, but it also sowed the seeds of discord and territorial disputes that persist to this day. One of the most contentious issues arising from partition was the status of the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. This region, with its diverse ethnic and religious composition, became a focal point of conflict between India and Pakistan, each claiming it as its own. In the aftermath of partition, the princely states were given the option to join either India or Pakistan, or to remain independent. However, the ruler of Jammu and Kashmir, Maharaja Hari Singh, decided to join India, a decision that went against the wishes of the majority of Muslims in Kashmir, who wanted to align with Pakistan due to their shared ideology and religion. The prevailing government at that time was also Indian, which influenced the decision. This led to the outbreak of the First Indo-Pakistani War. The tensions between India and Pakistan over the status of Jammu and Kashmir persisted, leading to multiple conflicts and border skirmishes over the years. The region became heavily militarized, with both countries deploying troops along the Line of Control, LOC, the de facto border dividing the region between Indian-administered and Pakistan-administered territories. The accession of Jammu and Kashmir to India was accompanied by the insertion of Article 370 into the Indian Constitution. It was introduced on behalf of the Government of India, and it came into effect on the 17th of October, 1949. The provision resulted from negotiations between Sheikh Abdullah, who led the Jammu and Kashmir National Conference, and Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first Prime Minister. The purpose behind Article 370 was to provide a temporary framework for integrating Jammu and Kashmir into the Indian Union while respecting its distinct identity, history, and demographics. It allowed the state to have its own constitution and decision-making authority over all matters except defense, communications, and foreign affairs. However, after 70 years, on August 5, 2019, the Government of India abolished Article 370. This decision was led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who abrogated Article 370 through a presidential order and passed the Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act, effectively revoking the special status granted to the region. This move was highly controversial and led to significant political upheaval and international attention. This caused protests in Kashmir and criticism from around the world. Indians said that it was necessary for Kashmir's development because Kashmir is part of India, and the same country does not have two identities, for example, flag, rules, and status. On the other hand, in Pakistani's opinion, it took away the rights of the Kashmiri people. Amidst this conflict, India has produced a film titled Article 370, wherein not only has the truth been obscured, but it has also led to the misdirection of Muslim sentiments and emotions. The movie perpetuates a false narrative by concealing the truth. It paints a negative picture of Kashmiri Muslims, making them seem like terrorists and insurgents. This portrayal fits with the Indian government's view, which tries to downplay Kashmir's desire for independence. But this portrayal isn't accurate and only makes things worse by reinforcing stereotypes and dividing people. In reality, the movie Article 370 depicts the Indian military and political factions advocating for the revocation of Article 370 with the intention of fostering economic development in Kashmir. While proponents argue that this move would spur economic progress in the region, they acknowledge potential resistance from Muslim Kashmiris, who may disagree with the decision. However, the portrayal of Muslims in the movie is characterized by cruelty and greed, a depiction that diverges from reality and does not accurately represent the Kashmiri Muslim community. If we take a closer look at the movie, the characters of Zakir Naik and Burhan Wani are portrayed as negative figures, which diverges from their real-life personas. While the film depicts them as negative characters involved in unlawful activities such as terrorism and oppressors, in reality, they were not seen in such a negative light. Zakir Naik, known as an Islamic preacher and scholar, has faced controversies regarding his statements and teachings, but has not been linked to criminal activities like money laundering. Similarly, Burhan Wani, while associated with militancy in Kashmir, was considered by some as a symbol of resistance against Indian rule rather than solely a negative figure. Thus, the portrayal of these characters in the movie diverges from the perceptions held by many about them in real life. Although Article 370 is a good movie and a cracker of an action film, it underlines one of the most crucial chapters of Indo-Pak history, but according to Koimoy, it's a movie about Kashmir with the voice of Kashmiris missing. There is no doubt that initially, Maharaja Hari Singh of Kashmir decided to accede to India. However, the majority of Muslims in that region were not pleased with this decision. This led to the establishment of Article 370 in the Indian Constitution, allowing it to have its own laws and decision-making power in most areas, except for defense, foreign affairs, finance, and communications. But now the Indian government has revoked this article, stripping Kashmir of its unique status as a separate state. The movie Article 370 supports the Indian government's action in this regard and is believed to depict the narratives favoring the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party due to the upcoming elections and ignoring the views of the Kashmiris.